Hi, it's Rachel with Stirring the Deep. I wanted to share with you what God's been teaching me about this concept of buying and selling that is often discussed from Revelation 13, where it's talking about the beast and taking the mark of the beast, and only that those that have the mark are going to be able to buy and sell. And a lot of people think of this as literal. And what I want to share with you today is what God has been teaching me, because people that they're getting caught up in this literal interpretation, they're missing what the real teaching is here, and thus they're neglecting what they really should be focusing on in their lives because they're so concerned with this physical representation. So let me read you the verse. It's Revelation 13:16. It says, "He, the beast, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, that no one may buy or sell except one who has a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." And the number of his name, 666, which is the number of man. So it's really about man's wisdom and man's ways. That's what the marking is. So I want to talk about this concept of this marking on the foreheads and right hands, and as well as this buying and selling, and what God's been showing me. I wanted to go back to Matthew 25:8 and 9, and that talks about the parable of the 10 virgins. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I want to focus on this buying and selling aspect. And in verse 8 and 9, it says, "And the foolish said to the wise virgins, 'Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out.' But the wise answered, saying, 'No, lest there should not be enough for us and you, but go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves.'" Again, you had this buying and selling, this transaction. Now, in this parable, we know that the oil and the lamp really represents the Spirit of God in us. Where the lamp stands. And the oil is God's light in us, His truth, His Spirit dwelling in us. And so when the lampstand is removed, that Spirit is removed from us, from our lives. So here you have this buying and selling to get that oil. So it's really, the buying and selling is really about buying and selling the truth. But as you can see, you can also either buy and sell from God, who actually is the truth. And when you do that, you receive God's Spirit in you because your temple has been prepared for Him. Or you can buy and sell lies from the enemy or the beast, which is just, the lies of the world. It's the lies of man, it's the ways of man, it's his self-will. And you get this a little bit deeper when you read Revelation 3:18, where Jesus says, "I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in the fire, that you may be rich, and white garments, and that you may be clothed, that the shame of your nakedness may not be revealed, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that you may see." So here Jesus is saying, buy from me gold. But we know that gold is, it says refined in fire, is really our faith. Faith is what we believe. Faith is what we trust in. We all have faith. It's a matter of what is it in. Are you buying it from the Word, from truth, from God? Are you letting Him teach you and instruct you? Are you fostering trust in Him and faith in His truth? Or are you really nurturing and cultivating trust and growing in truth of this world and man's principles and man's philosophies, which are bound in deception and lies and bondage and death? This is what the buying and selling is. So each one of us, whether we realize it or not, we're doing this in our lives. We're either cultivating a trust and building truth and getting that from God Himself, or we are getting it from man or from humans, right? And from the wisdom of the world, which is counter to God, because you can't serve God and mammon or the world. It's one or the other. So this is the buying and selling that we all do, but it's a matter of which one are you going to do, and which one you're doing affects what mark you have on your forehead, because the marking on the forehead and the hands is really about the truth that you hold in your mind. Do you have the mind of Christ? Do you have God's truth in you? Or are you living and trusting, and do you have the truth of the world? Because you're reading Ezekiel 9:4, and it said, "The Lord said to him, go through the midst of the city through the midst of Jerusalem and put a mark on the foreheads of the men who sigh and cry over the abominations that are done within it. This is a good mark to have. And then Revelation 9:4 it says, they were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth or any green thing or any tree, but only those men who did not have the seal of God on their foreheads. So just like you can buy and sell, either from, that can be good or bad, either you're buying and selling from this world and that truth, or you're gaining that truth from Christ. Same thing, when you do that, you're getting marked. You're owning the truth. So you either have the name of God in your mind and he's who owns you, and that's who you serve, or you're truly serving the world with your mind and your thoughts, because that's the truth that or it's really lies, but that's what you're following and that's what you're cultivating. So it's so important to realize this, because if people think this is just literal and they continue to buy and sell from this world, then they're doing the very thing that they fear. They are buying and selling from the beast. Until next time, keep stirring the deep. It's the one thing that changes everything else.